Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Master Fran Art Stream. I'm your cool gent, Master Fran, on this fine Wednesday, April 30th, last day of April. It's pretty nice. It's been a cool, rainy day, and it's slightly warmer over the day, but a little bit cold on the cold front. Hopefully it gets warmer because it was much warmer on Monday and Tuesday. But welcome to the Master Fran Art Stream. I'm your cool guy, Master Fran. I'm a artist, multi-talented, traditional artist, digital artist, pixel artist, animator, almost the works. I am overall unemployed, which is freelance and unemployed, but I do have a day job. But yes, welcome to this fine stream. Tonight, I'll be working on some comic pages while doing some knife studies right here. Over the morning, I was doing a few knife studies where I kind of glanced at some references, but I also kind of like made things up as I went. I think like these knives specifically are more like no ref knives, and then I actually, with these knives here, I took more time to actually look up more references, and that's slightly better. And then kind of found some more knives and kind of just had a little bit of fun with this. If you follow me on Blue Sky, which is Blue Sky at masterfriend.com, because that's basically a way of how I verified my Blue Sky account. And yeah, follow me online there, and you'll pretty much just see all my social media posts and just my overall daily sketches. I've been pretty alright. Things have been alright. My social battery's kind of just diminished, mostly after work. It's difficult to really, do some stuff when you're kind of just going home from work. I recently cooked some fish and made some dinner. Made a nice Atlantic salmon from Aldi, and my mom really liked it. Also made some rice dish with it, so it turned out pretty nice. I mix, had a base of salt and pepper in the mix, just put on top of the surface. Plus, I made some, so I got some Jamaican seasoning blend, where it's a giant blend of just various seasons that I would need to relook at the label to find out. But it's like salt, pepper, a few like I think. I'm assuming a tiny bit of jerk, but not a lot. Yeah, I put that powder on top of not a half stick of butter, but like a quarter stick of butter. Poured that powder in that stick and then had the butter melt, so that would be a nice like butter mix. And then, I put it on top of the fish, so it's a good like blend of butter and the seasoning. I was worried that it was going to be too salty, but it turned out pretty well. My mom liked how it seasoned up, so I'm pretty happy with how that went. And I kind of just made a good bit of food. Of course, my brother wanted to order some Burger King because, of course, he wanted to eat out. He had the money to eat out, which is the most annoying thing. You buy dinner, and he just spontaneously texts you while you're at work to just eat stuff that's not dinner. And it's one of those things where, my brother's autistic, which means he's in his routine. So, it can be annoying, but it's one of those things where I can't really be unreasonably upset about. But it is what it is, Occasionally he eats my cooking, but occasionally not. It's mostly a flip-flop thing on his schedule, which I guess that's just life for you. Oh yeah, doing some cooking, and it turned out pretty well. I'm pretty alright. Of course, I have leftovers for tomorrow, so So I've got my basically the rest of the week I can cook stuff and enjoy some food there. I don't really cook every day as much as I want because I'm constantly forcing myself to draw. I'm been trying to like get myself to just stay focused on my art, and whenever I don't work my art, I still feel a bit of like, I guess, anxiety when it comes to not producing as much art as I'd like. But of course, you gotta live life in order to make better art. So, I have I guess I flip-flop with that sometimes where, obviously you gotta live your life a little better while, learning the ins and outs of your art process, so to speak. But I try not to fret too hard about it. I mean, sometimes it's good to be able to stand up more often. I know I myself tend to, I know I'd want to take more breaks overall with my back's problems, which I am trying to improve. I'm trying to make it more of a thing to do more stretches in my day. So whenever I finish my bus stops at my work, I will do some knee squats or lunges. Squats. I would do some lunges. Go throughout the entirety of the bus, and then outside the bus I will do at least 10 squats, like basic body squats. And I kind of hang on to the side of the bus and kind of just get myself stable, because I guess I'm just too unfit to keep myself able to just squat while keeping my ankles down. So it's helpful, and I'm trying to at least make it a routine of it. Hopefully I can at least keep up with it. It's not perfect, and I'm not super happy about how I've been getting myself to improve my health overall. But I've been trying to tackle getting myself more into a general exercise routine and just get myself in a slightly better bit of health. So it is what it is with that, and I try my best to kind of just live my life. And for those curious, those who are kind of watching me right now, kind of just meander a bit. I'm kind of looking up this World Encyclopedia of Knives as a basic it's a basic what's it called, Herman's House book. It's a EK book, if I remember right. What's it? Hermes House. These are a giant series of books. These are similar to the DK books or whatever it's called, where it's just a giant illustrated encyclopedia of knives. I also have a pistols variant of this book as well. I bought this book from Barnes & Noble because it's a good reference book. So keep it around for any knife studies, which is what I do plan to be doing right now. Knife studies overall, and it has really cool knives from basically from World War II and back, from prehistoric era and I think modern day. So it is what it is with that. And these knives I'll probably do a few knives just to get myself to get some good knives, because the purpose of these knives is to have something sketched for my comic, because I'm gonna be working on a few pages. And just get some stuff down. I could probably work vertically. Let's see if I can't zoom a wee bit more, and I'll be slightly better, so more people can see this giant freaking drawing here. But yeah, one thing I tend to do is make a super basic, generic knife sketch. One thing with knives is that they're balanced, so like the blade is as long as the handle, because I guess according to dumb trivia knowledge that I just find whenever I'm like researching stuff, a lot of knife handles are balanced as long as the blade, like they're forward to be like that, and then the hilt's kind of like built on top of the blade. Like whenever knives are forged, they're usually forged with with like entire metal. So it's like you have the metal blade, which is the stabby part, but then you have the handle part, which is more metal, but then it's wrapped with either wood or pearl or ivory or leather and things like that. And that's basically how most knives are, forged overall. You probably would see a kitchen knife with something like this where it'll look. I'm basically doing a really bad drawing, but you've probably seen kitchen knives where they kind of just like this, where they kind of just basically single bladed, and then you'll probably have like the internal nails with this kitchen knife overall. And I'd say that's how a lot of knives are constructed. Don't quote me on this. I'm not a super expert on blacksmith. I'm just a dumb dude overall when it comes to, I guess, arms knowledge. Despite being, interested in fantasy stuff, I'm not like huge into like, I guess, war history or medieval history as much as I'd like to say. I'd want to be. I mean, I guess I like little history podcasts. Like, I like things like Behind the Bastards or The Constant, where it'll kind of like have some interesting tidbits and moments in history to kind of just show off, what some, I guess, the more interesting stuff. I also like Stuff You Should Know's ridiculous history, stuff like that. Those old podcasts. I tend to listen to a lot of old podcasts when it comes to when I'm drawing or when I'm sketching, or even when I'm just traveling around, in my car and stuff like that. So I'm kind of just doing some really fast studies. I kind of just fiddle about with some stuff and procrastinate. One sec, my lips are feeling kind of dry. I need some chapstick. Okay, I returned. But yeah, tonight's a pretty alright night. And it's mostly just me kind of just doing some knife studies and chilling overall. I think this will be a quieter stream, but luckily my music's playing. Probably should play my Bandcamp selection, but it's neither here nor there. I should probably talk about my time at Schaumburg Library Con, because last weekend I went to a convention, despite me being like, yeah, I'm taking a break from conventions, but Schaumburg Library Con was free, so all I had to do was drive all the way to Schaumburg. So it's no skin off my back. I live in Illinois, and I'm pretty alright with traveling all over Illinois if it needs to be. I've gone as far as Springfield, so I'm pretty willing to like go all over the place, all the way from Chicago overall. So Don't say that I'm not, I suppose, Illinois loyal, I suppose. Oh yeah, I mean, Schaumburg Library Con was good. I made a stupendous profit to my surprise, but you know what? Honestly, I probably should have expected this because, I wasn't spending money, really. I was, basically, it was overall a free table, cheap is free. And, it was just nothing, it was a really humongous crowd. I think this was their, second year after COVID that they just, so, I guess a lot of people were just hungry to see comic stuff. So, me, a few, art friends were there as well. I'm pretty happy to kind of check back in with them, kind of chat them up, share in the worries of the tariffs and their book printing deals and dealing with stuff like that. And just catching up. So we're doing our best, and the only thing we can really do is just stick in there overall. But I mean, one of my friends is doing pretty well. He's nearly ready to draw a new book, so he's been working on that. Meanwhile, I'm trying to force myself to, of course, work on Black Mask. And I'm I guess I should probably also talk about what Black Mask has been doing. So let's see. Adam's been tackling sound effects and things like that, and I have been, I guess, trying to lay out a storyboard for stuff to just get things done. I'm currently working on basically universal, I guess, talking sprites overall, and kind of like setting up a little, I suppose, visual novel style, or maybe like a Phoenix Wright style, like two talking heads type thing. But try to make it more dynamic, where it's like, I'll show with action figures because got it. So try to have one action figure here, and then you have the other action figure kind of just in a close up, and this will be Cold and this will be the generic character far away. It's sort of a a dynamic news thing, and then at the bottom of the screen will be their text. So that's basically a preview thing of what I'm interested in tackling. And I think I've posted an image of basically a mock-up. If you follow me online, you'll probably see me make a fast caption of Cole speaking with a sheep lady. And that was one of the mock-ups I was working with to see, like, okay, what could work with that. Of course, there's a whole bunch of sizing things I gotta figure out. I lost the hand with one of my figures. 1 second. One thing that sucks about these little figurines is that they have very loose parts. So, I mean, they're slightly helpful, but they're not super helpful overall. Because I think I depend on 3D apps over these little figurines in general. Because I guess I feel kind of embarrassed when I have to keep these figurines close to me. And, they're pretty alright. I just keep them around as fast reps, or if I want to do like a lighting test thing. I got the figure arts, or whatever the heck they're called here. You can't really see them, but they're here. They're kind of just standing in front. Blech. It's difficult to get them standing without that plastic stand thing. Blech. Okay, got balance. But it is a nice way to like make sure, okay, these poses are actually balanced. So I just doing these figure arts as they are and kind of just messing about. But yeah, Schaumburg Library Con. But yeah, Schaumburg Library Con was pretty alright, and I think I sold, if I remember counting, 220 something. So it was a good turnout overall. So I'm pretty happy with how that was. I have another one later in May. But I will also be walking around Anime Central, Rosemont this month. This coming. And kind of just walking around and not tabling Anime Central. I'm just gonna be walking around with my friends and kind of see the site and kind of vacation. I'm still sort of in this sense of I need to build up my funds in general, and make new merch, and get some new art, make some new shorts, and of course I keep talking about the comic craft on it. This is cool. This is a cool dirk. Georgia. It's Georgia, like Georgia, but not the state of Georgia, or at least the United States of Georgia. Nice Georgian name. Looks all crescent-y too. I was like a little dick. That's probably not like a little dick, but it's kind of close. I was like a banana. Oh, that'd be a cool idea for a sword, like a banana sword. So you have like the monkey knights with banana swords. That'd be a cool idea. I think I'm glad that I'm at least taking more time to study stuff. There are times where I feel absolutely frustrated when I don't immediately have knowledge of a thing, and I feel like a moron when it comes to non-character design. So whenever I have some time to kind of just sometimes I feel like a dope, but that's sort of the point of learning, is you feel like a dope, so you're willing to improve. And as much as I'm like, yeah, well, I should be learning from the beginning, like I should have already known this. I had the resources, I had the time. You should have known. And that's kind of just one of those things where you have to kind of shit sometimes in order to just make sure that you're willing to learn overall. Sometimes it can be pretty nice. Like with this, I'm teaching myself to kind of like interpret how the knife's supposed to look. Of course, I'm not getting every detail because I do need to figure out a way to make this look like it's a plausible knife while still adhering to the reference overall. So this is totally my coping excuse to say, yeah, this is why I don't have all detail, because I'm basically stylizing making a interpretation to kind of see if I can simplify this. But I do like this idea of like a banana dagger. I'm actually gonna try and draw that, actually. So what would a banana dagger look like? Probably be something like this, but also like a thicker hilt. Have something like this. The hilt would look like this. I just have like a thing like this. Then I'll probably like have the hilt be more like round, like a slight little hinge. And have a bit of a hand here. Yeah, it probably would look like Donkey Kong, a golden banana, and stuff like that. Probably like have the down part here, where it's sort of more of a where the light would fall off. I think it would be more like a horizontalish. Like if you looked at the banana from the front, it would be more of a octagonal type thing. That's how probably. I like having it in front. And then if you did some like perspective fuckery, like having it closer in, then be like this probably. Kind of like seeing this and trying to figure out how would the perspective actually work. Well, it would probably work like this. Probably not completely is me failing hard at this, but probably do something like that, and that's how it'll look. And then, oh, I don't have a knife. But I do have tracing paper. Oh man, did I just draw the entire thing off? Let's keep a wee bit of tracing paper on me. Never hurts to have a small amount of tracing paper. If I need to do anything interesting with this, just trace on top. And then I can do some fun stuff like this. I trace on top of this. But then draw the actual freaking knife, baby. Oh. Right, just have some fun. Try to get yourself to just do the damn thing. I think the tough thing about just getting yourself drawing is the hard part of just that anticipation before the drawing. Because that's usually kind of just what really stops me is you blow a lot of your time worrying about making sure that it's actually legit and perfect and stuff like that. Okay, let me get my tape real fast. I'll just stash this later and I'll tape it to my sketchbooks for what I need. What I'm actually looking for is more like a decorative dagger. So let me just look at my reps real fast. I am getting better at knives. It's like Skyrim. The more you draw the knives, the better you get at knives, I suppose. I think what I'm looking for right now is like a good Persian. Because the gist of what the comic's going to be is Cole's trying to trick a thief into buying a good-looking knife, but turns out the joke is that the knife actually is shitty. So kind of just fiddling around with stuff like that. I like this curved hilt, Italian stiletto. I spy a little silhouette of a man. Please steal this. Most like pip squeaky type knife. Do stuff like that. Yeah, just doing a lot of concept art for what's basically a comic. I'm going somewhere with this. I just, gotta warm up. Even though I had all morning to warm up, but that is what it is what it is sometimes. Of course, I'm not being exact because I could be much more exact. I just need to just get the general idea of this is a knife. It looks close to what I need to draw in order to draw a million knives. And obviously this is not 100% exact. I just need a really slight just a really fast sample to just knock out sketches ASAP. Just get things out. And that's that's one of the million ways that you can just get yourself drawings to draw as much as you can. They can draw, how they say you have a million bad drawings. Well, get to it. Get to all those millions of bad drawings, because you can get yourself just draw just a wee bit. I usually when I'm doing the blue line stuff, I would just jump straight to inks overall. This is interesting. I like doing an incomplete silk, sort of like one of those like spiral knives, but it's incomplete, it's like a sort of a spiral. What's a spiral called overall? I forget. Those details probably never going to get into an actual comic, but it's one of those things where if I at least have the ref on me, I don't have to ref hunt later. I'll just have it with me. Do a slight bit of pre-production. A little bit of pre-production to kind of just get yourself to clear out all the questions that you got. Now this is the reference hunting phase of making the comic, where you're using you're kind of just going on a long, kind of just spending a lot of your time, I guess, looking for stuff. It can also be fast to procrastinate too, so I'll give this maybe I'll make this the last page before I actually just want to take a slight break and then get back to working on the actual proper comic page. Let me hunt down some more like interesting knife style. This is an interesting like sword catching knife where it looks like a big old comb, but of course it's for catching swords. It's like a sai or a samurai jite. It's basically like a half sai, but it's basically for stopping swords overall. Let's see, German parry. Like I like these kids. Let's see. Sequidas. I can never know how to pronounce this. In my thumbnail, my like black mass thumbnail, looks like a Arabic knife. So let me see if I can't find daggers that are more like Arabic. Get some Nancy knives. Double-edged curve. Okay. Oh, yeah. This is probably the knife I was constantly thinking of when I was thinking about Cole's thumbnails. This purge there is like fuck purple. It looks cool. Of course, the lighting doesn't really show how purple this is, but it is what it is. I think in my thumbnail I crusted this with rules. I guess I'm using my creative interpretation to really like get this down overall. It's not perfect, but it is what it is with this. Now this could actually be more like a snake head sometimes. But it is what it is with that. Of course, there has like a slight decorativeness to the dagger, because there's like a little patterns overall to it. Of course, it's difficult to convey this in such a small sketch sometimes. But I do at least try to like have an illusion of detail. Otherwise, you end up kind of feeling that. I usually do this shading at the bottom of the dagger because that's usually where light will go. A lot of light will just travel from up down. So it's a nice default. If all else fails, you know where to light a figure or a drawing. Just start from up down. Maybe like slightly from right to left, or if you're left-handed, left to right. That way you don't have you don't smudge your sketch, and you can just get away with stuff like that overall with a super basic sketch. seeing little detail like this as well. Have like looks slightly like ribs, but probably isn't anything. I kind of just fiddling around with what the detail could be. Kind of just interpreting it in my own way to kind of just kind of get myself to get the simulacrum of this Arabic dagger, while actually, trying to get yourself to work with what this dagger's supposed to be. And I'm sure there's like, this dagger's probably religious and I'm completely shitting on it, and obviously I don't mean to offend in general. But then again, maybe this would probably have more artistic significance if I did know the religious religious significance of a lot of this stuff. It can be argued that half the reason why a lot of art design's not as authentic looking is because these days when references are there, you can just pick up the reference, or you can just get an image or a out of context aesthetically pleasing reference image. And you don't really take a lot of time to kind of like dive into why this was designed this way sort of deals. So, sometimes you can be, sometimes you can basically design something and you'll have a giant mismatch of clashing elements that, if someone who actually is from that culture saw that, they would be like, wow, this is completely clashing. I think one notable example that I do constantly hear about is Native American stuff, where you're getting a lot of clothing elements from completely alternate Native American tribes. And obviously, it's kind of, if you don't have anything like a consultant or something kind of to say, hey buddy, this is what tribe this is from, you're sort of just flying blind. And I'll admit I am kind of flying blind with I guess a lot of my historical stuff and my fantasy drawing and stuff like that. I will certainly admit that, where I'm kind of just going off of the vibes of being like, oh, this African life looks kind of cool, so I'm gonna kind of pluck little elements of this and see what I actually like. Being perfect. Of course, I probably should just take more time to just sit down and actually just read the words that are on this, because there's probably a whole bunch of historical context that I'm completely missing when I do these refs. So, that's me kind of just basically making streaming slop overall, because I'm not taking much I'm not really pondering too much about the integrity of a culture that I'm imitating overall. It is what it is. I'll probably tackle this, a little bit later. Probably make you slightly darker. Use some cross hatching to kind of just add more tone. And of course, thanks to this light, you're not even seeing half of this. Oh yeah, you know, it is what it is. Let's see. I like the little feather right here. Yeah, like looking at little pictures right here and messing about. And more Nazi knives, World War II stuff. Fiddling around with that. And where's my water? My lips are kind of parched. Whale hunting knives, 19th century edge weapons. Let's go back to the index a bit. More Nazi knives. Bayonets. Yeah, that's one thing that's also nice about this book is also has bayonets. I forget. I like this Moroccan knife. So I think this will be the last knife we'll do. But one sec, let me get some water. Water's all the way. Oh yeah, Savannah. Yeah, these unusual weapons would be good game designs and stuff like that, and especially with the Game Boy designs, I do want to at least put like a little make sure that the knives visually look, different enough so that smudged it, crap. Oh well, make sure that the knives look distinct enough even without color. So yeah, draw this one Moroccan knife right here. Now, obviously, I'm not being super accurate. I'm kind of just being really out there. I guess getting the simulacrum of the knife will be helpful. There we are. Yeah, do some. Yeah, the tough thing about making these knives is getting a good idea of getting a good idea of what these blades are supposed to look like, or at least what they're supposed to, how they're supposed to be rendered while basically being sideways looking. Kind of stuff. Doing a really crappy interpretation of what this detail is supposed to be. I don't know why I'm kind of like picking a weird scale design, but I'm just doing that. Of course, if I zoom in, it probably won't even have this fidelity. If I'm ever gonna make pixel art, probably not gonna be this close overall. But it is what it is. And this is a slight wood finish. Kind of like trying to figure out, okay, what would make this wood looking? Kind of figure out what what could shorthandedly just call this wood. So hopefully this will at least look like it's wood enough. Oop. Keep bumping my head into this thing. of course, I don't erase if I don't need to. Yeah, don't erase as much as I do, even though the black wing totally has an eraser. It's still pretty alright. I could probably erase this smudge a bit, clean that up. But overall, it's a pretty good paper for this black wing. It's actually pretty nice to be sketching with this black wing in comparison to always using these mechanical pencils where you basically have an actual point that you can paint with your pencils and you can actually do stuff with them as opposed to you just got this piddly little needle point and you can't really sketch anything at all except on smaller surfaces. Yeah, well, anywho, now to actually pick which one would look good. I think this one is, no. This one's probably, well, overall. Probably will still redesign to look closer to thumbnail. The thumbnail kind of like a bit more jewelry. I got a fiddle with that there. And of course, I do scan these sketches, so whenever I post on social media, they'll actually be ready to roll. And they'll actually be much clearer than this crappy video footage I have here. Where is... okay. There's a son of a monkey. I got my blue line stuff here. Alright. You know what? I'm gonna take a few minutes to kind of like stretch my legs. And I will be right back and we're gonna work on the comic proper. Be right back. And boom. At 10 squats I return. Yep. Alright. I'm ready to work on the comic proper. I guess I probably should have taken slightly more time to, get some, get some, breathing down. I did some squats at my bedside, kind of just, stabilize myself. And, it's kind of, you could probably make some arguments that it's cheating-ish, but, it is what it is. It's one of those things where I'm kind of just trying to just force myself to just get myself into just the, get myself to just actually do it. Like, just do it at all. Like, bother to do basic body exercises in general. Yeah, sorry about that. And just do basic body exercises will at least help me get myself to actually work on the stupid thing. Because it's difficult to get yourself to actually exercise at all, because exercise is overall and fun. You never want to, you never feel motivated to work on it because in general it's just not fun to actually exercise. So how do you motivate yourself to actually do anything, And I guess right now for me, I think it's the possibility, or at least the idea of getting a new chair. And I guess retail therapy is one of those things, but it is one of those things that is getting me to consider fitness more often. So I had my eye on this Herman Miller chair for a bit, and that's kind of just been my big like, okay, save up money. Maybe I'll open commissions much later, but that is my next notable purchase: is get a Herman Miller, the proper, healthy health guy chair for, I suppose rich people, but it is what it is with that. And today, probably like this. I just mess about with Cole's hands. Does he have like his little raccoon hands, little raccoon paws? I like to add a little bit of fuzz to kind of just indicate that, he is, he's got a little bit of hair on his, a little bit of hair on himself. And of course, this will be a nice basic way to kind of just indicate that Cole has paw pads. Whenever I'm drawing Cole in journal, whereas like I'm drawing my regular sketch pads, I never draw him with paw pads. And it's not that I don't, it's that I forget or I don't have space to. I think it's with most of my characters, and honestly, I think with digital art, I'm so concerned with just getting through the thing fast that I tend to just skip out on certain details because I just don't want to deal with it for now. I feel that way when it comes to like digital drawing, but not necessarily pixel art, because it's like the pixel art, I'm like, ooh, how much detail can this stuff in these tiny squares? And that's kind of one of those, I guess, mental flexes I want to push myself to do, is figure out how I can get myself get more bang for my buck with pixel art. I don't know what is it with me in pixel art where it's like regular digital art where I just have basically an infinite canvas. I can just sketch, I can just draw, but then I kind of just fall away. But with pixel art where it's tiny, limited canvas, and most people are like, oh man, I can't draw on such a small canvas. Meanwhile, I'm like, oh, I can do some magic here. And somehow I can just stick with it even for multiple days. Like, I'm sketching, the Black Max storyboards on Pixaxie. I think it's it's Pixsquare. Pixaxie is the other iPad app. But I'm I'm drawing pixel art on Pixsquare, and doing stuff with that, and I can just stick with it no problem. Also does help that it's I only take Pixsquare with me. I don't take my sketchbooks with me, so I'm not tempted to just traditional art. But despite that, I never liked drawing in Procreate, so it's one of those things. But Pixsquare, I can just doodle a cool idea for pixel drawing, and that'll be what I'm drawing for, I suppose, the next this part, so it can look more spirally. Probably use the mechanical pencil to get something that's more thin overall. Kind of do like a little Oh, there is some used to using these neck pencils because probably would have never probably would have choked if I used the Blackwing. So it is what it is. You know, you got like each their own with some of the stuff. I think one thing that I really don't like is my default mechanical pencil is it's a HB pencil, so it's much harder and thinner. Which is funny because I do have I think I have a harder pencil. Let's see. What pencil are you? 70. Oh, you're way softer and way darker. It'll be impossible to erase. But I guess back in art school I had much harder pencils. That would be what I would use to, you know, that's a typical, you know, you go to art school, you learn the basics of art with art supplies. And because I went to ILIS, Illinois Art Institute school, they trick you into getting that stupid supply bag, and you really don't need it. In fact, it's way cheaper to just get the supplies from Blick yourself or Amazon and stuff like that, and waste your money on not just a supply bag or not just the supplies that basically go obsolete and are actually really worse supplies, but also you're wasting your time getting a giant bag that really kind of sucks to have. Like, it's giant. I don't like having it in my room. It just takes up so much space. Now it's kind of like yeah, now I'm kind of just in a ponder mode where I'm just basically looking at this drawing and kind of just seeing what I can actually draw right now. And this is actually, like, if I want to adhere to perspective, this would actually be much way off. Kind of just really exaggerating Cole's yeah. I'm now kind of just in massive brainstorm mode. I'm just going silent and then going silent and then talking and then silent and talking, but it's like now I'm just in actual proper creative. I'm now just doing stuff instead of just brainstorming, and now kind of just in proper penciler mode. And luckily, shoot, what was his model sheet? Lucky for me, I can always like look at his other stuff and kind of see. Okay, did he have his bag with him? Yes, he always had his little sack on him. I do need to get back to work on the other previous pages because sort of don't have his I don't have page 2 complete yet, but right, let's get that done. Either off stream or kind of just away from everything. Interesting part about I guess doing this spot is basically I am in just draw whatever you want mode. I mean I just want to just draw whatever, and reality be damned, I'm kind of just trying to convey the energy of this cool drawing here. It probably will be impossible ink overall, but I just want to get this down. In fact, probably just sketch his tail overall. Yes, I'm in super free falling mode with this. Since I'm my own inker and my own penciler, I kind of want to use these pencils as a portfolio piece, because regularly I would probably just go straight to inking, but I think I'm probably just recording the penciling process just to get that up. Cole have his light ring. Is this tip light or dark? Yeah, we'll just leave this tip light overall. This is massively me kind of just really just going ham with a lot of this sketching. Kind of just seeing how far I can just take myself. Get a little bit thicker line to kind of just distinguish this silhouette. They'll probably like erase a few of the erase a bit of a line just to get you to focus on this just a bit more. Oh yeah, there's also the little bits of detail. Yeah, just get that down. So what I could do here, I just have these same spirals right here. 6 spirals. I'm starting to understand. Spirals. Maybe like 4 spirals here. I kind of just have that over me. That should be more than enough. Wee bit of overlapping. There we are. Looks nice and shiny. This is a good last panel. Now I just half-ass the rest of the panels because, basically, once you have like one good panel, you can basically just just have some fun with these top ones. In fact, I want to get some dummy paper that just cover this so I don't smudge it. Just work. Fuck, come on. Alright. I have you on top so I can get started sketching on this. I'm gonna nudge you up because as much as cool as paper is, it doesn't nudge you down just a bit. Yeah, that should be more than enough, huh? Push you up. Yeah, I wish I could pan this up, but it is what it is. Okay. Yeah. So a lot of this is me kind of just having some good old fun, just messing about with kind of just messing around with Cole's dynamic here. And just seeing what I could I'm kind of just going silent now because I'm basically just seeing what I can accomplish with is what I'm doing with this. Boom. Make this the most musted ass knife imaginable. Okay, just button about. Little coyote. Little ribs. Wee bit of shading. Bit of I forget what these lines are actually called. There's like an emphasis line thing. I forget what they're actually called. They're lines for emphasizing stuff. The emphasis lines. I forget what they're called. I'm gonna have like a cool like overlapping frame here where Cole is overlapping the frame, so when I ink it, kind of like looks like Cole is outside the thing. You know what? I'll fiddle around with this and say like, oh, let's have some cool outdoorsy type spot. Nice and torn. The one thing that I don't do with a lot of my torn work, or at least whenever I'm drawing something torn, I never get it consistent at all with just most of the pictures, which makes sense. You know, I'm that makes sense overall because it doesn't make sense. Also, this coyote also kind of just got a bit of scars just right off the bat. I never typed down like what this pose was supposedly supposed to be. Oh yeah, Bowles were reaching into his pocket to get something. That's what I was doing. Hey, Cole should look down at the knife. Instead of him to make it look like he's more concerned about the knife than considering Coyote threat. Yeah, it should pop, actually. Okay, roll here. Nice and easy. I think it's almost time for me to take some sandpaper to this. Okay. Do this again. Okay. I think at this point it's me kind of just digging into just my brainstorming mode and kind of just, this is draw time. It's like raw time, but you don't ask me music requests because the music's on an automatic playlist I just compiled out of old Super Nintendo soundtracks and Sega Genesis soundtracks and all that stuff. I could probably put the foot here. Cole's foot here, but here. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I was doing. Forgot that I need to get a few of the get some just basic woods art, just so we have like a bit of a and kind of just working on some backgrounds to kind of just be like. So anyway, we have like a rough simulacrum of background stuff. I kind of want to, or at least that's what I'm doing, is kind of like want to have the backgrounds kind of like vanish to the top, kind of. I'll just use X again to indicate that these trees are supposed to kind of just be in silhouette overall. But yeah, thank you very much. Who's chatting right now? Sorry. I made the chat much too far away from my drawing desk. Ooh. Yes, indeed. I'm rolling traditional for today. Because I'm kind of working on some what the fuck? Oh. Oh. I didn't know my my headphones are on. Yep, I'm drawing traditional for today and figuring out just working on a small kind of project to kind of just improve my soul a little. As I'm also working on pixel art just on in the day, but at night I kind of just work on this comp project just to get myself to just tackle some more stuff overall. So that's kind of the modus operandi for this stream. And I'll probably be doing this, doing these comics for the next month, because I do want to get to both the inking phase and all that, the other stuff. It's just tonight is draw stuff on paper night, just to give yourself a little treat. I initially did this traditional stream for my 100, my 100th stream. I kind of just did that for doing all my all these streams. But I figured, you know what? I'm not gonna change my setup too fast. I'm gonna just have this for a month as a little thing to say, yes, I can actually physically draw comics. I'm not a complete hack. I still remember how to draw, even if, I constantly depend on the undo and control Z to cover my art flaws. But it is what it is with that. Probably could do more stuff like this. And I don't know why I'm kind of just doing this. I'm kind of like, I already have this as an X, but I kind of just want to have this as leaves. Just have a solid silhouette. Just to say that, yeah, you can fill this. But yeah, this is basically going to be my big stream project overall for perhaps the month. Maybe this will be the last traditional stream for the month. Then go to May and probably do some actual on stream work. But right yet, I'll probably just keep the comic stuff going because I do still need to ink these books. But it's a short 6-page story, so I don't want to, stick on it too long. That's plenty. That's more than enough. As you can already see, kind of the general aesthetic of this everything, this entire page. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 3 panels down, and then you still got a 4th panel to go. I am surprised I'm making so much progress, I'd say. At first, I was like, I would never be able to do this comic very fast. And then, it's starting to come back to me with, what I can work on as opposed to, what's actually important on the thing. Probably could stand to do something slightly more creative than a crate, but it is what it is with that. There we are. Okay, cool. Kind of just get that down. That should look good. Alright, next is panel 1. Panel 1's kind of a smaller panel. Cole putting down all this stuff. I actually don't like this too much. Also, 1 second, let me sand this down. I usually use a sander thing to kind of just sharpen this long knife here. I'll probably tear this off. I usually use that to sharpen my tip a bit more. Alright. Now I got a slightly sharper tip. It probably won't focus like that, but usually I'll use the sand thing to sand down tips if it's a longer tip. Probably could use my knife to kind of just cut that down too. Of course, I'm not near my garbage can yet. I'm actually not liking my thumbnail. Let me double draw something real fast. Ready yet? Just no, not tracing paper. Just sketching a whole separate thing. That's one thing that's good about one thing that's good about having a separate sheet of paper. You have a thing. So Cole's here. He's putting down his stuff. And all his stuff would be down here. Let me look at his first panel right now. Okay, so be more, probably be more like this. Puts down all his stuff. More of a bag. I can't do so much detail. Kind of like re-looking at this sketch to figure out how the fuck did I just draw all this stuff. Could probably do like a higher perspective thing where Cole is much closer than his feet are here. And then Cole would let go of his stuff right here. And that's how we would gotta just figure out what the heck this guy can do to me. Probably should have it so he still keeps his stuff. I think he should keep his stuff. And that way it would still keep his underdog status. Because right now, like, the first panel is this, where he has just a whole giant pile of stuff, and that kind of just indicates he is weighed down by just literally everything. And that kind of, like, you know, puts him at a disadvantage. Of course, buffs his underdog. So that's that works well. I figure I should like keep him, because in his panel release in the thumbnail, they have it so he just puts down his stuff off. So, yeah, do that, because he already has his stuff down here. So it's yeah, I'm a little tired. Yeah, what time is it right now? 9:02. I think I'll just finish this panel and then hit the hay. That's what I'll do. It took me 2 hours to pencil a page, which actually isn't that good. If I was a pro comic artist, I would be fucking late. So, this is what I get for just overthinking most of this stuff. Man, I'm kind of not pondering it much. I also didn't even lay this out. I need to probably put this down just a wee bit. Okay. I think I know what I need to do. Oh, they're not messing this up by making this unconnected to certain stuff here. But overall, I want to make it so it's a big ass carrying case for Cole. Okay. Gotta get a cod piece in there. This weird leather cod piece that I ripped off from Guts. That's literally the reason why Cole wears a cod piece. Because Guts wears a cod piece. And, you want to make cool art like Berserk. So, you draw like Berserk. And that's literally the reason why. Ugh. Now kind of scanning form where it's like I'm now just locking in hard. just in ultra state. It's funny because it's all supposed to be up here overall. Bubbles up here. Do like a button for the bag. Bag adheres to motion overall. All right. Kind of like re-looking at my first panel, kind of to see the pile there. Little box, and then treasure chest is here. With the box. I'm slowly kind of getting very imperfect. But I think this is sort of my benefit, where I'm realizing that I could put most of the effort into the actual winning panel. Just use my early effort and then take advantage of the burnout to kind of like make the more interesting, or at least the least interesting panels not as engaging, because overall you kind of like run out of drawing energy as you kind of like continue. So it can be easy to like feel like you need to make every panel a 100% super banner. Zoom you out so you can just see the entire page here. And yeah, I mean, this is looking all right, but compared to, let's see, this is page 1, page 2, and of course I'm missing this last panel here, but I'll get to that, maybe off stream or something like that. And then page 3, I should probably write that down, page try. Page 3. Made like a date for 30-5. Black Man series book. VS. Yeah. That's just this is Pole versus a Bandit. I'll probably think of some like clever pun for this, but I've got one page done, and kind of sucks because I kind of like blew most of my time working on a knife. But honestly, this final panel looks pretty solid. I could probably add like little things like spark and stuff like that, but overall, you know, it's pretty all right. I have I'm actually sort of halfway through this entire, or at least penciling the comic. So either at this pace, well, I think I'll either do something this weekend or may like may do some pages off stream so I can, just get this pace going along. Anyway, thank everyone who stopped by the stream. Thank you all for watching. It's it's probably a shorter stream overall, but honestly, it's the fact that I managed to just get this down is still an achievement. It's actually knocking down some actual comic pages. And next week will be more comic page drawing, and overall, I'm gonna be working on this until I at least complete these 6 pages, ink these 6 pages, and then I'm done basically streaming this comic. I'll probably color the pages off stream. May have that be an exclusive recording or something. Anywho, I will see you all next week. Probably same time, same hour, probably 7 p.m. CST. I usually stream on Wednesdays on 7 p.m. So, if I'm late or if I'm early, it really just depends. Anyway, thank you all for stopping by and have a good night.